Hi friends, welcome to my first ever pregnancy vlog. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna talk about my pregnancy, and if this is coming as a total shock to you, then check out my announcement video over on my other channel. I'll link to that below. But yeah, just this past Sunday, Tyler and I put out our video with the big news. We were so excited to do so because we do not like holding this in. So yeah, I am 13 weeks along today as I shoot this on Tuesday, but on Wednesdays is when, you know, my week shifts into the next one. So as of tomorrow, it'll be 14 weeks. So we got kind of a lot of time to catch up on, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a backstory on our decision to have kids. We knew we wanted to have kids, but for a long time we really just didn't know exactly when. But obviously now we do know. To take you way back for a moment, Tyler and I got married in August of 2006. Like literally later that month he started law school. And we moved down here to Southern Illinois so he could do that. And then, I mean, I didn't even have a job right away at that point. I was looking for a way I could use my like TV, radio type degree down here, and honestly there weren't any openings at first, and so I was really nervous about that. It was just a time where we were trying to just get our bearings, you know? So we just kind of knew that those were going to be some formative years for our relationship and our careers too. But in that time I did end up getting a job at the TV station. Started out part-time, moved to full-time eventually, got to do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, got to produce, do some reporting. I got into the morning show stuff. And so that was like something I was so excited to do. Like I was over the moon to have that kind of anchoring opportunity, you know, with my small amount of experience that I had. And so I jumped at the chance for that. What that brought with it was some very unusual hours. Waking up, you know, around 1:30 in the morning to go to work. And also the undercurrent of all this was in 2007, I started on YouTube. So that was just this total little hobby, you know, happening just alongside everything else. And as time went on, I'd done the morning show then for 4 years. Tyler's out of law school, working at a law firm, you know, stuff's happening. And I'm finding myself to be like extremely busy. I'm doing the full-time job thing, which is at strange hours, hardly seeing Tyler. As soon as I get home around midday, I'm starting to work on YouTube stuff, which I love and would not give up for the world. But at the same time, I'm not really getting a lot of sleep. I'm not giving you this whole like big life story to try to tell you like there's gonna always be a perfect time for every couple to have a kid, but I think we were just feeling like at that time it was not the right time. Like if there's a chance for you to have a feeling on the inside like yes let's do this or no let's not, we were feeling more like the let's hold off a little bit. And then it was December of 2012 when I ended up leaving the news, and I remember Tyler and I being in serious discussions about that decision. Probably like maybe in the summer of 2012, we had talked a lot about it, like, you know, this is probably in the future, you know, get into the YouTube stuff more, and then when we decide to have kids, you know, that's going to be an easier situation for you than the morning hours and stuff. And so I think at that point in time, that was when babies really realistically came into the conversation for us, but we knew like we weren't going to rush it, and that I wanted to definitely have some time to establish a routine, establish kind of just what it's like to be in a totally different work environment where it's just you don't have a boss, everything that happens is reliant on what you do, and it's really just important to be super self-motivated and you know, be in it because you love it, because there's nobody pushing you. And so fortunately I love this YouTube stuff so much that it was a fabulous year of growth and learning to manage my time and starting up an additional channel, my Beauty Broadcast Express, which I'm so excited about. And looking back, I really don't think if I had a child at that point, I don't think I would have thought to do that channel. I mean, it's a lot of work, but now I'm kind of into a routine with it. I kind of see, you know, how I can manage my time and get all those videos done. I really see it as something that will continue to, you know, fit into the whole scope of what's happening here. So in December of 2013, like, it wasn't really plotted out this way formally, but it seems like it was. Like it was exactly a year after I left the news. I went off birth control. I was on the pill, orthotricycline low. I hope this isn't an overshare. Is this normally what people talk about in these videos? I feel like if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna share, you know, what the situation is. So I'd been on that for years, and I remembered wondering, like, does that mean, since I've been on this for so many years, like, will it take a long time for, you know, me to get pregnant, or will it happen really fast? And I've heard of all kinds of experiences across the board with it. So neither me nor Tyler expected it to happen in that first month. I mean, we just, like, I didn't want to be in a position where I had my hopes up real high, and I didn't want this to be something we stressed over. It was kind of like we just thought, you know, it's in God's hands. We will just do this, get off the pill, and see what happens. And we're not going to be obsessive about it. I'll be darned if that first month, that was when it ended up happening. We found out in January. I can't remember the exact date. I should have that date in my head, but when we found out, I should have had that time of the month on a Wednesday, and then I thought maybe this is just an issue of getting off the pill, and I Googled stuff and had found that, you know, yeah, sometimes, you know, if you're off the pill for the first time in a long time, things may be readjusting in your body. So I thought, you know, I'm not going to jump on this and take a test until Sunday. And so that Sunday morning, I took my little Walmart brand generic pregnancy test. I woke up, you know, at 5 o'clock in the morning. They say you should do it. If you're going to take one of those tests, you should do it like in the morning when you first go to the body. And so I did. I'm in the bathroom and I'm like waiting for whatever the result will be. And Tyler's in bed, cupcakes roaming around the bathroom too. And sooner than I even thought would happen, I see this plus sign. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what? I mean, I just remember looking at it and saying, what? Really? Like, I think I honestly, like, I had this expectation in my head that it would not be anything. And so I am like freaking out in there by myself, but I didn't want to scream. Just that crazy moment of thinking, like, when I walked into this bathroom, I did not know this, and now, like, I have life-changing information at this moment, and it's crazy. What do I do with it? And so I go in, Tyler's laying in bed, and I'm just a doofus. Like, I have this practical joke. Like, I love playing jokes on people, and I could have run in there, like, screaming my head off, but I'm going there and I'm like, Button, I think you may want to come in the bathroom, check this thing out here. Like, I was trying not to let on at all what was going on, and he comes in, he like doesn't even have his glasses on, his eyes are like this wide open, and I show him and he's like, oh my gosh, and I could see like some tears kind of welling up in his eyes just in that first moment, like he's barely awake. He like got up, had something for breakfast, got on the computer immediately, like, what do we do next? We are pregnant. And I'm like flipping out, and I'm like, I have got to tell Mom. Like, I could not keep this in. Like, I talk to my mom every single day on the phone, and I'm like, you know, I've got to say something. And Tyler's like, yeah, you probably do. He's like, maybe we should take another test. You know, that was just a generic, like, little Walmart test. So it's probably like 7 a.m. and he runs out and he gets another test, and it's, I think it's an EPT. It has like maybe a digital type readout on it, kind of like, looks like a calculator kind of thing. And that one's going to tell you actually the word pregnant or not pregnant after you use it. And sure enough, I took that again that morning and it said pregnant. And so now we're like, oh, this is legit, you know, this is happening. And so then I'm like, I've got to tell Mom, I'm so excited, like, this is crazy. And so I got on the phone with her. I didn't even bring it up immediately. Like, she was talking about how, you know, what she had done, and, you know, she was talking to her friend Francine about this or that, and I'm like, and then she said, you know, well, what's up with you? And I said, you know, how accurate are those pregnancy tests you take at home? And she just like freaked out. So I'm gonna call her right now so you guys can, maybe she can explain to you what her reaction to this whole thing was like.
Hello?
Mom!
Yes, what?
I am shooting a video as we speak, doing my pregnancy vlog. And I'm talking about telling people about it. And could you describe for people like what you were thinking when I told you on the phone that day?
It didn't come as a total surprise because I knew you were thinking about it. I thought the timing was all good, and I was very excited. I really couldn't quite believe it. I felt like I could have 3 children with no huge deal, but somehow watching you do this, it was going to be absolute mystery and surprise. I see it in a totally different way than when I had my own. It's like this is all new to me now. And of course, it has been a while. So,
yeah.
No, it just seems like such a special thing, more special than when I did that, and I don't know why I would think that at all.
Is it because I'm your youngest child?
It may be. It's just a wonderful thing. So I am thrilled for you and for all of us because I think you're having it for lots of people. Lots of family. There haven't been a lot of babies here lately. You were the youngest, and so it's just a real nice reawakening of babies and all those things that come with them. So everyone's excited about it. Everybody's happy, but I'm especially happy and excited. Thrilled.
But your friend Francine called this. She said like it was gonna happen. She told you when it was gonna happen,
She's
basically.
kind of like a soothsayer, or I don't know what you'd call her. I told her you were thinking about this at some point, and she said, "Well, she'll be having one by January. She'll be telling you by January." And I thought, yeah, well, maybe. And that's exactly what happened. And
that's
then
so funny.
She happened to be in the hospital for probably the first time in her 90 years, and she's had a baby, and with a problem of her own. And I went over that very morning and told her, and said, I have a surprise. And she said, Emily's pregnant. And she was all in smiles. So she knew that. So but she has not yet decided if it's a boy or girl yet. So I'm waiting for that decision to come down so that we'll all know for sure.
Well, I'll call you back later, maybe after I finish this.
Okay, thanks, Sam. I hope that was okay. You can get something out of it.
Yeah, all right. Love you.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Sam.
Yep.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye. So there you have it. Mom and Dad are super excited. Tyler's mom and dad found out that day as well, and they're super excited. So our immediate family found out fairly soon. So we've had, some people kind of knowing this was happening. We weren't keeping it a complete surprise from like everyone in our lives. And by the way, my mom lives like 5 hours away from me. So, I mean, if I could have like run over to her house or thought up some grand surprise of how to reveal this, that would have been great. But I mean, it was really just the raw, honest, like I found out that morning and I've got to blurt this out to somebody. So then on Monday, I called the hospital, and that was when they kind of actually determined right there like what the due date would be estimated at, and that hasn't changed since then, September 17th. And so in that phone call we set up my first couple of appointments. My first one, not even really to see the doctor, that was to just kind of go through the financial end of things. Also, I remember sitting down with the nurse and going through like my whole medical history and just question after question about like family medical history, and Tyler was there too, and he answered questions about his side as well. So they've just got all this background on me. And they also did like a blood test as well to figure out my blood type, and I'm not sure what other things they were looking for there. And I was given just this big binder of information and just stuff to know about now you're pregnant, and here's the lifestyle changes that need to be made, here's the things you need to know about eating, and just all this information. And so I think that was like 8 weeks when we went in for that first time, and I think that is pretty typical for when you'll see your doctor for the first time, I guess, from what I've heard. And then 10 weeks was the first time actually seeing the doctor, and that was when we got the first ultrasound. That little picture that we showed, that's the only ultrasound we've had so far. And so I guess the ultrasound technician lady was able to put this ultrasound device inside of me, and then we're looking at the screen, and instantly there's that, I mean, we can tell that's a baby. This is only 10 weeks in and we can see like head, body. You know, the picture I showed you guys in the announcement video, that was it. And, you know, it's moving around. Like, we can see the little arms moving and stuff, and we can hear the heartbeat. And that was just incredible. It's like kind of a whooshing noise, like a whoosh, 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 whoosh. Like, it was so nuts. Tyler and I like could not, we were beside ourselves. Like, is this even possible? Is that really in there? Like, I mean, it was our first look knowing for sure that something was truly in there. I mean, we pretty much knew I was pregnant according to the tests and stuff, but like that realization is just kind of overwhelming, and some tears definitely came to my eyes in that moment, and we were just thrilled to see that. And then we met with the doctor, and I guess it's pretty routine to have a pelvic exam at that point, and that's kind of to assess your structure to make sure that a baby is capable of coming out. I am such a novice at this stuff, but I think that's what, you know, it was set to determine. So this was our first time meeting our doctor. We love our doctor, but he looked at me and he looked at Tyler and he was like, okay. And he was like assessing, you know, the width of Tyler's shoulders, and was thinking, this is going to be an interesting situation here. We're really wondering, you know, how big is this baby going to be? But he was not concerned, and it looks like I should be able to, you know, have this child, at least as it stands right now, you know, the normal way. Then the doctor said he wanted to see me at 12 weeks because at that point we would kind of be over that first trimester hump, and he says the risk of a miscarriage goes down considerably at that point, so we could kind of maybe breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief once we hit that mark. So when we went in for that 12-week appointment, I mean, it was super quick. We just went in and talked to the doctor. They didn't do an ultrasound this time. He did do something, he detected the heartbeat using something called a Doppler, and basically he can just put that like on my lower abdomen and feel around, and we're able to hear the heartbeat again, so that was really great. And he just kind of asked me if I was dealing with any issues, any symptoms or whatever, and basically said, looks like you're doing good. We'll see you again from here on out on like a monthly basis. But as far as any symptoms and that kind of thing, and I've taken up a ton of time just like giving background information in this video, so maybe my next one I'll do more chit chat about this, but honestly I've been feeling really good. There have been a couple of like isolated times where I think my stomach got empty, like I didn't eat enough for dinner, and there was one evening where I just felt awful. Like I had to throw up, but I couldn't throw up kind of thing. Just really did not feel good at all. And once I did start like slowly eating some crackers, I was like, okay, I'm coming back to life now. When I get up in the mornings, you know, I don't feel maybe amazingly energized and awesome, but I don't feel real sick either. Some people had asked me like if I noticed any symptoms even before I knew I was pregnant. And with that, there's one thing I did notice before I actually took that test, and I felt more bloated than ever, like just a real full feeling. And I thought, you know, that seems different. I have continued to have, you know, some bloated feelings on and off, but honestly I can't complain. My mom was very, very sick with all three of us kids during her first trimester, so I was like keeping my fingers crossed I didn't have that. And cravings, I mean, nothing wild. I think the thing I've noticed more than having specific cravings is that I really like, before I eat something, I really know what I want and what I don't want. There will be some days where I'm like, grilled chicken sounds awful to me today, you know, and other times where I don't really mind it, you know, but Fruity Pebbles, that was one thing that I really wanted, and I feel like I'm always in the mood for popcorn. Like popcorn of any kind, flavored popcorn, regular popcorn, light popcorn, I don't care. That is something that I just really like the taste of, and it tastes good to me anytime. Yeah, if you can think of anything else you want me to be covering in these kinds of videos, or how frequently you'd like to see them, just let me know in the comments section, because this is my first time, of course, ever doing something like this, but we're just really excited on this end. Thank you so much for your kind words and words of wisdom that you've been sharing with me too. That's much appreciated. So take care. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.